Good evening and welcome to The Loop. My name is Valentine Joroge and this is a bold and fresh look at our lives in Kenya today.
My name is Mike Washira. Welcome to the show.
And our sign language interpreter is Clement Muli. Tonight, if you're a man, grab a pen and a paper, sit down, take notes. If you love a man, ata wewe keti chini. We are looking at men's health. Men have been affected so much by coronavirus. They're getting infected at a faster rate than women, and they are dying at a higher rate than women. Why is this? We're asking questions. We have a doctor today. We have a nutritionist.
Yeah, and we've got so much to talk about here on the show. And Valentine, one of the things people say is, I can't live an active lifestyle because sina pesa kwenda gym. Well, you know what? We have got two health experts in studio with us today, the directors of Smart Gyms. Yes, I know you must have seen it somewhere. Duncan Wenjohi, Vinita Otieno are going to be here to tell us what are some of the things that you can do in the house to live an active and healthy lifestyle. And then later on the show, on Unplugged, I am so excited about this artist. We have Zinia Manasseh, super talented, amazing Kenyan artist. You definitely want to stick around for that. And as we continue discussing these issues, we want to hear from you, and you can let us know your thoughts and opinions using the hashtag the Loop K24 on all our social media handles. That's the Loop K24 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But first, here is your news roundup.
A section of senators are now backing Senator Sakaja's proposal and his Meru counterpart, Mithika Linturi's amendments as the only solution to the revenue-sharing formula stalemate. Linturi had proposed further amendments to the proposal, which is currently before the Senate. Under their new proposal, the amount shared to counties shall range between 250 billion and 270 billion. This comes even as the faction led by Senate Whip Irongo Kangata vows to support the one man, one vote, 1 shilling formula on Tuesday when the House sits to vote.
Tumekubaliana pia ya kwamba kwa hiyo amendment ile pesa ambayo itagawiwa kupitia ile formula ambayo iko kwa sasa itakuwa kati ya bilioni 250 na bilioni 270. Na yale pesa yatakuwa juu ya hiyo itatumia ile formula ambayo Senator Sakaja amepropose.
The adjournment sought by this group was in bad faith that the one Kenya they are claiming to is a one Kenya to the detriment of those that deserve to be given their fair share of revenue, and we will not accept the tactics they are using to deny our counties their due and rightful share.
Kama kuna mawiano yoyote yatakayopatikana ni mpaka ihusishe maseneta wote, na ni haki yetu sisi kama wananchi wa Kenya wa maseneta sehemu ambazo zina watu wengi.
How can it be that almost 540 of us against less than 200 women have gotten this virus in the last 24 hours only?
Kenya's COVID-19 cases are still on the rise. 727 new cases of COVID-19 have been recorded today, with 14 people having succumbed to the virus. The Ministry of Health has also sought to clarify to the public that lemon, ginger and honey are good for the body but cannot cure COVID-19. The announcement comes after an increase in the price of lemon and ginger by traders owing to a perceived advantage over the disease.
And I know there might be some macho-ness, kuwa mungwana, kuwa mtu mkali. Uonyeshe una nguvu, wewe huwezi kuvaa mask. Mimi ni fellow. Wewe ni fellow, mkali sana. If it was in the Wild West, you'd be slinging guns. You will die. Utakufa. Na hiyo ufelo yako. Hiyo ufelo hakuna pahali itakupeleka jameni. Hiyo ufelo macho. This is a virus. It knows no macho-ness.
Today marks exactly 22 years since the 1998 twin bombings targeting American embassies in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam. The attack left 224 people dead and more than 5,000 people injured. Al-Qaeda, a terrorist group, claimed responsibility for the blasts. Osama bin Laden, the founder and first leader of the Islamist group, was killed in Pakistan on May 2011 by United States Navy SEALs. More than 20 people have since been indicted in the United States for the bombings. Families of those killed and injured during the terror attack today held a memorial service remembering their loved ones at the site of the attacks.
Traders at Wakulima Market are counting huge losses after fire broke out yesterday, consuming a section of the market. The fire that is said to have started at around 10 p.m. last night is said to have been intentionally lit so as to chase the traders from the premises that is owned by Kenya Railways Corporation. The fire consumed everything in its wake, including a vehicle. The traders are now blaming Kenya Railways, saying that they were not given notice to vacate the premises and are calling on the county government of Nairobi to intervene to other parts of the market.
Ni hasara kubwa sana. Manake hii gari vile unaona, hiyo matunda imebeba ni ya shilingi 1200. Pamoja na gari imechomeka. Gari ni yetu na matunda ni yetu. Kwa hivyo ni hasara maradufu. So ile kitu tungeomba ni serikali iingilie kati. Ndio maana hata kama ni kuongea, watu waongee.
Watu wa reli wana reclaim shamba yao. Lakini hata kama wanataka hiyo shamba, walifaa kupeana notice. Kwa sababu ile mizigo iko pale ni mizigo ya mamilioni mingi, watu kwanza waondoe. So mimi kwa niaba ya wananchi naomba msaada kutoka kwa awaibu MP Mheshimiwa Jagua na Gavana Sonko wa intervene, wajue kwa nini shida ya reli ama watu wa reli walikuja kuchoma vitu ya mamilioni ya wanabiashara wa hapa wakulima, kwa sababu hata ile vitu wamefanya hapa inaonekana ni ya unyama.
Okay, there you go. You know, some of the stories that are making headlines here in Kenya. And you know, you have to ask yourself, we've got so many problems in this country. See Marikitu kuchomeka, see bomb blast, see corona, see men's health. Like, I mean, there's so many things happening. You know, Valentine, we have to ask ourselves the question, like, why is it that right now more men seem to be more susceptible to COVID-19? Is it because of our lifestyle? Is it because of our behavior? Is it because of our attitude? You know, people are saying all sorts of things, yeah.
Is it a genetic issue? Is it because of the Y chromosome versus women who have a double X chromosome and men are XY? So, yes, we do have to ask ourselves that. And tonight, we are really getting in depth with this conversation, and we're asking a doctor exactly what is happening. This question has confounded people from China to the WHO, the Center for Disease Control in the US. There are questions, and we're trying to answer them tonight, starting with a woman who instigated this conversation on Twitter and got so much flack for it. She's been my mentor, and I'd like to thank you, Caroline Mutoko, for allowing us to use your video. And here it is.
COVID is taking our men, not because COVID is predisposed to a chromosome. This is not an XY issue. It's a mental predisposition and a behavioral predisposition. And because of the way you think and the way you act, Rona is coming after our men. Let me start with the obvious that we all know. Wanaume mwezi ambiwa. Mwezi ambiwa, mwezi ambiwa. There's no telling you what to do. Because the very idea that a virus could come after you, all the man that you are, is impossible until the virus does come for you. So that's number one. Number two, oh Lord, you hate water. You hate water. Somebody has to beg you to wash your hands. And this is pre-COVID. Oh, a shower? Oh, that's news. And half the women in Nairobi just went, preach, sister. I know. The very idea that lazima uoge, kwanza sasa kuna baridi, as far as you're concerned, no. Nobody can make you eat anything that does not look like a cow or a goat. Misikulangi matunda, yoni ya watoto na wanawake. And she herself was in that thing. We have tried to put effervescent tablets for you to drink, and you're like, misi kunywangi hizo vitu. Ikiwa si kaglen fulani and it's above a teenager. That's how you talk. The other thing is, you see a doctor. You. It's like, apana takunywa ka something. Tangao wa ikitu. That's how you talk.
I'm smelling of sweat. Miss me nimeoga. Iko sawa. In fact, check shati nimevaa maze. This one tells you me I take my fruits seriously.
In retaliation, you're wearing pineapples. Hey, vitamin C.
I take my fruits seriously. Mafelo mesikia vile maambiwa. Hata siyasa amesema. So this is the thing. Ladies, let me give you a trick. I know men don't eat fruits. Men don't eat veggies. Okay? if you want your man to eat, whatever it is you want to eat, this is what you should tell him. Just tell him, inaongeza nguvu za kiume. Utakuwa sawa. Then eat. Okay, you know. They will eat everything. Okay, let's
Are these actual rumors? We will find out from our doctor. I want to ask him if that is actually true. We had some tweets. There was so much reaction on social media around this subject. So let's see what you had to say.
Oh, I'm sure this is going to be very interesting. Okay, so Jamal Fury says, alafu hospitals, watu wa hizo masindano huwa wanadunga mtu, maybe men's mental and behavior characteristics zita change tuanze kwenda hosi. No, that's a very good point. Me, when I go for an injection, it takes like 1 hour. 55 minutes, the doctor is chasing me around. 5 minutes, kunidunga.
Are you being serious?
No, I understand.
I wish there was CCTV and that doctors, whatever, to see Mike going around the table. Mimi kitu sielewi ni men are saying we're more likely to get COVID because we're out there hustling more than the women. Isn't this enough reason for us to be more careful and actually heed some of what Caro is saying? Ama ni ukaidi too because it's coming from a woman. That's from Chikate. I think he's right.
That's a very good point. You know, like you said, men are hatupendagi kuambiwa. We know everything. Chikate says she might have erred on the science, but she wasn't entirely wrong. Social and behavioral factors are major contributors of infections, and men, due to their low immunity, need to be even more careful. Sisi hata kunawa mikono after visiting the toilet ni struggle. Sembuse kuvaa mask.
That is such a disgusting
That is why
thought.
Unagotea mtu.
When you consider that some things always end up in the pants. That is just a disturbing thought. But actually, if you have questions that you'd like to ask the doctor, maybe now is the time for you to send them, and then the doctor will answer your questions. Men tend to hide their feelings and how they feel, how the situation affects them. Admitting that you're not okay, that something isn't working or something bothers you, being vulnerable does not make you less of a man. It makes you human. Preach, sister.
Well, let me tell you, a man can never admit. Never. Okay, you know, it's just product of our socialization and our downfall as well. Okay, easier said than done. It's a whole different world for a man out there. Being vulnerable and expressive is that one thing that makes us less of a man. It is be a man and you'll probably understand thingy.
Really? So because I'm not a man, I don't understand that. But if you've been doing something and it's now proving to be problematic, do you continue with it or do you re-examine what you've been doing? That is what we're looking at today. As I said, if you have a question for our doctor, those things that make you feel shame on me, now is the time to start sending us your questions. Tweet us. Facebook us, WhatsApp us.
You tell us, yeah, it's very simple. This is our hashtag, the Loop K24, and you can talk to us on all our social media pages. That's the Loop K24 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Are the behaviors that men, especially, are exhibiting, making us more susceptible to COVID-19? Talk to us, and we'll carry on the Loop after this break.
Prostate hapana, sijawahi fanya hiyo.
No, sijaichekiwa hiyo. Hiyo ni once tu nilifanyia kitu one year ago.
Hiyo sijui, labda hata nielezewe ni nini.
Nilifanyiwa test ya blood pressure 1 month ago. Kwa sababu nilisikia nikiwa natoa jasho sana na ninasikia joto sana kwa mwili.
Fanyiwa blood pressure test saa hii mimi niko na miezi imepita 5.
Mimi nilifanya blood pressure last year.
Mimi huwa napimwa regularly sana sababu tuseme every month twice.
The last time nenda blood pressure nikiwa high school.
Blood pressure check ni kama mwaka mmoja uliopita, sijaienda kuchekiwa tena.
Mimi siwezi kunywa pombe kwa sababu mimi nilikosa kusoma kwa sababu baba yangu alikuwa anakunywa pombe. Sasa singeweza kusoma. Sasa nikadharau pombe maisha yangu yote. Na hakuna siku nitaikunywa.
Nikiangalia marafiki zangu the way they behave wakinywa pombe, siwezi tamani kunywa.
Pombe kama sasa nikichoka sana, nasikia hata kiu niko nayo. Natafuta pombe, nikikunywa kidogo na relax, kulala na lala vizuri.
Sometimes for pressure lakini kidogo tu.
I only drink ile drinking spree, ile drinking ya ile katoto kamoja kujifurahisha tu.
Pia hapo sijaijifunza. Na sijaikumbana na hiyo kikundi ya watu wa kunywa pombe. Niko hivyo tu.
Nakula kama mara moja kwa wiki kwa sababu niko na tamaa sana ya kula nyama. Hata kama ningekuwa na pesa ningekuwa nakula kila siku.
Mara kama 3 kwa wiki nakula nyama.
Nikipewa opportunity ya kuacha nyama, actually siwezi wacha nyama.
Siwezi. Labda niambiwe na daktari. Na niambiwe nikikula nitakufa.
Sikupenda sigara kutoka utotoni wangu. Kwanza babangu aliacha sigara sababu hata ni kama ndio ilisababisha kifo chake.
Kwa sababu najua smoking ina madhara yake kwa afya ya mtu.
Vegetables napenda, especially kwanza matunda, fruits, I like fruits so much.
Hizo zote na saganga zote na nakulanga kila vegetable yoyote nakulanga.
Nakulanga. Kwa sababu sina pesa ya kununua nyama.
I love seeing the faces of all those men, and almost everybody had a mask on. And somebody even mentioned pombe sigara might be the problem. You are watching The Loop, a bold and fresh look at our lives in Kenya today. And we're asking the question, what is making our men more susceptible to COVID-19? We want you here for a long time. We want you with us. So, Daktari, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Valentine.
It was such short notice. I'm so glad you made it. And then now we're matching.
Friday is my pink day.
Okay, nice. Very quickly, some clarification. Yeah. Is this a genetic issue? Is it because men have a Y chromosome? Because in my research, I found some people speculating that. Or is it a behavioral issue? As Caroline Mutoko has pointed out, what is making men more susceptible?
It's a multitude of things. One, from behavioral, and I think that's what Caroline had spoken about.
Right.
Men's hygiene and things like that. But basically, if you look at it, women are at more or less similar risk of contracting the virus. The challenge comes in terms of reaction to the virus.
Okay.
That women seem to be more resilient, and it's not a lie. If any of you have, for example, the women who are married out there, anytime a man gets a flu, what happens to them? The flu kind of puts men down compared to, a woman can still function. She'll go to the kitchen, make food, but when a man gets, for example, a flu, which is also a viral infection, they tend to probably, stuck in bed, they can't get off.
We call it man flu. I've always thought that the guys were overreacting.
No, they're not overreacting.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true. Doctor, I mean, the flu that men get is more serious than the one for women.
It's not more serious. It's just the effect.
Okay.
So there have been postulates about estrogen improving your immunity.
Right.
And part of it could be true because the diseases that tend to, be associated with hyper functioning of your immune system. For example, you've heard about rheumatoid arthritis, patients who have systemic lupus erythematosus, SLE, tend to be more in women than men. The ratio is like 9 to 1.
When the immune system actually attacks your body,
yes,
women suffer from that more.
So it kind of tells you women's immunity is a bit more robust compared to men.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the issues causing this vulnerability? We're seeing, men are saying we're hustling, we're out there, we're taking risks. But also when the men get it, they're dying quicker. Are there underlying causes? What's going on?
Let's pick a cue. Majority of health workers
are women.
Uh-huh.
Majority of the nurses are women.
But then let me tell you, finding a male doctor today was problematic. So I'm glad you brought it up. Go
and
on.
increasingly also in the medical field, we are having more and more women coming in. So if it was an issue of being exposed, then that's not just enough. There seems to be something else. Of course, they say the immune system lives in the X chromosome, okay? Ladies or women have 2 X chromosomes, men have 1. So basically, there could be some truth in that. Of course, there are also behavioral issues with regards to especially respiratory illnesses, not just COVID alone, influenza, TB, more men die compared to women.
Right.
And for example, TB, which we've had for the longest time, there are things about self-care, that women tend to have better self-care, better health-seeking behavior compared to men.
I like what you said, health-seeking behavior. What is the health-seeking behavior that men can implement today so they can be healthier? Are there tests a man should be taking regularly, like every year, BP or something?
So one of the things that I've managed some of these patients, and one of the things that I think takes men aback, because men will also have some psychological and mental issues when they are unwell, is that most of the time men tend to have good health.
Oh.
Perceived good health. They're not sickly. You know, women, I think because of nurturing children, will usually tend to go with the children to the clinics and things like that. And perhaps when they are there, their blood pressure will be checked, their blood sugar will be checked. So women's diseases will be found earlier. I'll give an example. For example, HIV, majority of the men might not know their status, but if you are a woman and you get pregnant in Kenya, you must be tested for HIV. So you'll be likely to be found much earlier compared to your partner.
Okay. So what is this that men need to be doing? Is it an annual check to check blood pressure? What are these tests?
So one of course, behavior. For example, smoking is a no-no. I mean, there's a receptor that the COVID virus uses to enter your lungs, and for people who smoke, the receptors are increased. So basically that makes it much easier for the virus when you are smoking.
Right.
Or if you are a smoker. Okay? 2 is of course the issues of hygiene. Hygiene is important, washing your hands is important, and things like that. 3 is self-care, eating a nutritious meal. I just feel pity for, you know, single guys out there right now, because if you can't prepare a proper meal, balanced diet for yourself, then you're in for a disaster. Lastly, of course, is men need to have a better health-seeking behavior. You don't need to be unwell to go to hospital. I mean, it's common folklore that, you know, a man will be dragged to hospital, you know, when he's really, really down.
Basically on his last
leg. On his last leg.
Okay, so these tests, is it blood pressure? Is there a cardiac test that a man should be taking? What are these tests?
So with the current disease that we have, COVID, of course, obesity is a risk factor, diabetes is a risk factor, hypertension is a risk factor. Now, when these are well controlled, you're more or less fine. If you do not know you're hypertensive,
right? If
you do not know you're diabetic, if you do not know your HIV status, for example, and then you contract another disease, then it's a recipe usually for you taking you down.
Okay, unfortunately, we're almost about to wrap. I want to ask you about recreational use of Viagra.
Okay.
Very many people don't know that this thing was created to manage blood pressure. And then weekends, now curfew is helping, but people take it recreationally. What are the dangers of that?
So Viagra was actually made for the heart.
Okay.
And when the doctors were asking the patients about how, when they're doing the trials, these patients, they were happier and their relationships were happier. So basically it had a side effect.
Their relationships were happier.
That was desirable, because by and large for most people, most men especially, when they contract high blood pressure, they usually start having performance challenges.
Okay.
Now this drug was actually not only lowering your blood pressure, but actually helping you with regards to, I don't know if I can say the word on live
Go
TV,
ahead and say it.
But assisting men to be able to have actually stronger erections.
Okay.
Now the recreational use, okay, for men, when a man is healthy, he may not need to use Viagra. And basically when you find yourself, you're a young man and you actually have to use this drug for you to be able to perform, then perhaps it could mean that there's some underlying problem. Could you be diabetic and you don't know? Could you be hypertensive and you don't know?
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for that. Now, I'd like one last hard-hitting fact on COVID-19 and the men of Kenya.
COVID-19 and the men of Kenya, if you develop any symptoms of an acute respiratory illness, you have a running nose, you have a cough, you're short of breath, for men, run to hospital.
Okay. That's it.
That's it.
Run to hospital.
Run to hospital.
Don't even walk.
Let us come check, say, okay, you're fine, or let's keep you for a couple of days. Nothing has happened, now you can go home. You can isolate at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Daktari, and for heeding my call at such short notice. I really appreciate it.
Valentine.
Mike, I think we have some responses.
Yes, we do. And you know, Daktari said something very interesting about the Viagra question and young people. And vitu kwa ground, ziko different kidogo. You know, you find a lot of young people, the reason why they're going to buy Viagra is because the guy has got 20 mamas he's trying to satisfy. No, it's true. Okay, back to COVID-19. Let's find out what some of you are saying about this issue.
20 mamas.
Come on.
This is Bitok from Bomet. It's very true that most of men succumb to diseases because they are highly exposed to hustling, but also depend on blood group since many are carriers. Okay? Remember, you can keep giving us your opinions and thoughts. Okay. A sex difference in immune response that controls and clears SARS-CoV-2 suggests that there is a difference between sexes affecting immunity. Okay. Those are some of your thoughts and opinions coming through. Remember, continue talking to us on hashtag the Loop K24 on all our social media pages. That's the Loop K24, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't go too far. When we come back, we'll be speaking with a nutritionist, and you can find out, is it something in your diet? And what can you do to live a healthier lifestyle after the break?
Welcome back to The Loop, a bold and fresh look at our lives in Kenya today. And you're with Valentine and Mike. We are looking at men's health. We've noticed across the globe a question that is bothering doctors, nutritionists, fitness instructors. Why are men getting more infected than women? Why are men succumbing to COVID-19 at a faster rate than women? And we've been asking for your responses throughout. Our hashtag is the Loop K24, and we are the Loop at K24 on Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. We've seen so much response. We're actually trending. Can I brag? Am I allowed to say that? And I've seen so much of your feedback where people are saying, yes, it seems there's a difference. Men have a weaker immune system compared to the opposite gender, even in terms of death, as men die faster. But the other gender, why are you calling us the other gender, Quintin, does not do so in terms of strength of immunity. Okay, Benadir has something to say about Mike's shirt. Where we're focused, we're talking about men's health. We're talking about men's health. And love the show. I'm tuned in. Modoni Kamso Beatrice. Thank you, Modoni. Judy Carey, we are soft spots of God. Amen, my sister. Amen. I love that we are soft spots of God. If you have something to say on this subject, if you have a question for a nutritionist who's joining us in a few minutes, please make sure that you're sending your responses right now, as Shiko Keheka did. Research done by Initiative Global Health confirms that women are infected with the virus as frequently as men, but men are more likely to contract severe forms of COVID-19 and die from the infection. Sad news, but thank you for sharing that research with us, Shiko. I am Bet says, but on the real, wanaume nyi huoga marangapi kwa siku ama wiki? Really, per week? She's picked on you guys. She's picked on you guys. Men, but you can answer the question. You can answer the question. So we're about to be joined by a nutritionist. Many of us women, there's a man you love, you're quick to prepare his favorite recipes. Are you actually cooking him the correct thing? Are you actually putting the right thing on the table for your family? Ladies, let us find out from our nutritionist. And if you're a man and you're in charge of your own cooking, as Daktari pointed out, there's some bachelors out there who are struggling and they don't know what to eat. Roseanne Kamau, I've missed you.
I'm the nutritionist. I'm joking. I'm not. I know.
You look so nice.
Fantastic. You look so good.
Thank you. Thank you. So do you. Let me.
Listen, I haven't stepped out of the house, so I was like, yes, girl, I'm coming.
You're taking COVID seriously. 4 months.
It's true.
I've not left my house, girl. Okay. Can I just tell on you? I called Roseanne and she said, I haven't combed my hair in 4 months, woman.
You got me to do my hair, Valentine.
I love it. I love it. I'm good. I'm good.
Fantastic.
So now quickly, we have these men. It seems they're in trouble. What do we feed them? What do we avoid? Are we doing the right thing as women? If you're a guy and you need somebody to speak to, yes. What do we feed them?
So it depends. Like we're talking lifestyle diseases, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we want to do when we're talking about men who have lifestyle diseases, the first thing you want to do, Valentine, is you want to first consider, okay, what am I doing right now? What's my base, right?
Okay. We seem to have an issue with your microphone. Can we?
What you want me to do? It's okay. You can help me fix it.
No. It's okay. We will fix it. So what we're looking at is what we're noticing is that men are contracting this disease just like women, but they seem to be passing away. At a quicker rate. So we've heard that nutritionally, even our CS is talking about it, ginger, honey, lemon, that is not a cure for COVID. So we're wondering, what is it that boosts our immunity? We've heard about vitamin C. Are there things that we should be avoiding for men's health? Maybe something that takes away from men's health? The doctor mentioned obesity. Like, there's so much I want you to cover.
Oh, girl, I got you.
I know you do this thing about sugar and how sugar, what do you call it? Hey sugar. Yes, so we need to talk about that and really go over it in as much detail as you possibly can. Because yes, we want our men with us. We want our men with us for as long as we can keep them. Yes.
Absolutely we do. And
yes.
So what I want to say is
So
Is my mic okay?
Let me tell the person at home, if you have a question for our nutritionist, then our hashtag, remember, is the Loop at K24, and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we are the Loop at K24, and we even have a WhatsApp line which will turn up at the bottom of your screen, so feel free to send us a WhatsApp with your question. Our question tonight is, why are men more susceptible to COVID-19? We've seen the numbers and they're actually global. We're not pointing at our Kenyan men and saying that there's something going on with them that is not happening with everybody else. So welcome again.
Thank you, Valentine. Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
It's very nice to have you. So tell me, what do we feed these guys, or what should they be eating?
The first thing they need to do is you gotta first make sure that your diet is right. If you have obesity, and obesity we're talking about, if you notice especially your meat belly fat, that is one of those things that's a dangerous cue for you that I need you to be aware of, because it means you're carrying what's known as visceral fat. And visceral fat tends to promote what's known as metabolic syndrome.
So that kitambi here.
That you don't have to do it like that, Valentine.
No, because that's how it looks.
But if you do have that, yes, that is the first sign that you need to begin to consider taking care of your health.
Okay.
And so what you want to do, I always like to say this, Valentine, before we talk about, okay, what should I eat, what should I not eat? It's first, what has gotten you here? Because there's some habits that you've cultivated over years that have gotten you there. You don't get a kitambi within a month, even 2 months. It's usually cumulative because of all the habits.
It's a commitment. You didn't wake up round.
Right?
You ate yourself into
You ate yourself into it, girl. You ate yourself into it. So what we're saying is you need to identify that. And usually we're going to go through a couple of things that I think as our men you need to begin to remove or begin to change. Even just your mindset as to, okay, I probably need to remove this so that I can have a healthier lifestyle. Okay?
Okay.
So the first one, I do the sugar thing.
Yes.
Like I'm anti-sugar. So sugar is the first thing. And sugar is just not even, I'm not even talking about table sugar.
Yes, that was my question. Which sugar?
So we're talking, okay, the obvious sources, the table sugar, the sugar that is in cakes and cookies and whatnot. But a lot of sugar is hidden in things like juices. So a lot of people don't even realize.
People say juice ni natural.
Ni natural.
Ni matunda.
Sindio, alafu nanza, you start with that one in the morning, like first thing in the morning.
Yes.
What you do, you basically set yourself up for failure throughout the rest of the day, because you're going to set yourself up. Your insulin's going to be spiking up and down. Then your cravings, because your hormone, no, that's one hormone. Your hormones go haywire. Later in the evening, you're noticing you're craving and you're craving the wrong things. So you end up craving what? Things like chapati, carbohydrate-loaded foods.
Okay.
And carbohydrate-loaded foods are glucose, which is sugar. Right? So it becomes this, it's almost like a cycle that's never ending.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is, don't start your day with sugar.
Are you saying we ditch chapos?
I am not saying ditch chapos. Girl, you know I love my chapos. Like I eat chapos. We eat them in moderation.
Okay.
So don't ditch them, but eat in moderation. But you can't wake up in the day, Valentine. You're starting your day with juice. Then you have tea and bread, or tea and, let's say, mandazi, or tea and even sweet potatoes.
This is how we eat.
That is how we eat.
And then we are told guasha is good for you.
And it's good for, it's not bad for you, right? But then what else are you eating it with? If it's the only thing you're eating, you're setting yourself up for failure.
So what do we eat the carbohydrates with?
So I want you to add a protein in there.
Okay.
So something like you can do either eggs, you can do githeri, you can do pumpkins, nuts, you can do anything, right?
Okay.
And then also just make sure you have some vegetables.
Okay.
This is one thing, Valentine, let me tell you. We're in Kenya, we're so blessed with these amazing natural foods.
Yes.
But we don't get to see that. Like, people don't see it.
Okay, so tell me.
Yes.
And we're crunching our coins,
okay,
right?
Okay, yes,
So
girl.
what are the cheapest and high nutrition foods that we should eat like daily or like 4 or 5 times a week?
Green leafy vegetables.
Sukuma wiki.
Sukuma wiki.
Kunde.
Managu, terere.
Okay.
Those are super cheap and those are highly nutritious.
Nice.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, I want you to think, if you're thinking about fats, think avocados.
Okay.
How many of us throw avocados, isn't it? Let me tell you, Valentine, I'll throw this, I always say this to everybody. If you're an entrepreneur and you have all these avocados, please make avocado oil.
Okay.
Because avocado oil is so good for cooking rather than using all this other oil. So that's a great fat that you want to use.
Avocado oil,
yes,
okay.
Then
I've
you
been
can
putting it on my hair, so now we start...
Cook with it, girl. Cook with it. You know, then there's coconut oil, which is also quite pricey.
Yes.
Olive oil. So use those good oils, which are good for you. So those are your good fats. And even when you eat your egg, Valentine...
What do you mean good fats? This thing, we see aki white looking gumu like this.
That's not a good fat.
That's not a good fat.
That's not a good fat. So the lards are generally not good, but something like a ghee which also is hard and it's white, it's actually good because it's saturated, but it comes from animals. So animal things that are natural, those are good. So you can have your fat from things like ghee.
Okay.
So that's perfectly fine. Okay.
So now the people who eat that kanyama, they want the kafat on it. That's from an animal. Is that good for me?
Well, let me tell you. Now, unfortunately, if it's raised naturally, it's actually not bad. But the problem is a lot of these cows have hormones in them. And a lot of those hormones, once they're injected, they actually tend to be absorbed in that meat.
Kenyan cows? These ones that are on the roadside?
No, not the roadside ones, but a lot of the ones that are sold in, well, let me not say this because I'm not sure, but a lot of the farmers who do large-scale farming, they tend to put antibiotics,
so that the animal can grow quickly, not get infected.
Exactly,
so it's okay. So it's an animal farm.
Yes.
So the meat from there has problems.
You gotta be cautious about that.
Okay.
And listen, you know, I had cholesterol. I had high cholesterol. I did.
Okay.
And that's
I've seen your pictures. You were almost round.
Listen, the kitambi, I know about it. The roundness, I know it, okay? And I used to eat, I loved that fatty part of the meat. I loved it. But then the meats, again, because of they're not hormone raised, and a lot of them, we don't know, a lot of them, those meats, unfortunately, were hormone raised.
So you're eating all that hormone, all that chemical residue, basically.
Exactly, and it's
so you need to know where your nyama is coming from if you're a lover of that kafat.
Yes.
Then so we need good oils, the vegetable ones, kina avocado, whatever. Then we also need veggies. Our plates need to be colorful. Yes. And the cheap veggies, high nutrition, kina managu. Okay, good. Now, are there things that men should avoid?
For sure. Sugar is one. Processed foods is another. Alcohol is another. I actually want you to, can I touch a little bit on alcohol? Because one of the things with alcohol, number one, it's very high in calories. So just a little bit, 1 gram of alcohol has like 7 grams of calories. That's number one. Number two, anytime you take in alcohol, your body stops working and it's like, all right, it treats alcohol as a toxin. And so it's like, can we get rid of this thing first that has invaded this body of ours before we do anything else?
I did not know that.
Yes, that's exactly what happens
in the body.
And
this rumor, Tiaka, a glass of wine is good for you?
No, it's okay. We'll talk about wine. I'll talk about wine. But what happens is, the more we keep taking the alcohol, you know, a lot of people are like, okay, you get high, you get what? But this is one of those things that affects us. Even it affects your sleep, it affects your performance, it affects your energy. There's all these bad things that happen with alcohol. Now, when we're talking about
I didn't know your body stops. At least stop everything.
It's like
we've been poisoned.
Yes, there's a toxin. We need to deal with this. And on top of that, it inhibits. It's not able to process, especially if you're taking it a lot. It's not able to process all these other amazing nutrients that you're eating in your body. And so that's why people, like, if you're an alcoholic, we usually say, okay, take supplements. So you'll hear they're told by their doctors, take supplements, because your body is not able to absorb all these other amazing things.
So if you're drinking a lot and eating all the managu, terere, whatever, your body is still not absorbing all that yumminess.
No, not all of it. If you eat, especially if you're doing a lot of it.
Okay, but what else is next? Because I have to rush you. Yes, so okay, alcohol is not good for us.
Sugar is not good for us. Processed foods are not good for us. Lack of sleep is not good for us. So you gotta make sure you're sleeping, because a lot of men are either working really hard, working long hours, and they're like, I gotta fend for my family.
Yes.
But if you're staying up all night, you're not resting, you're not giving your body time to rest. What ends up happening, you release what's known as a hormone called cortisol that triggers all these other
stress
things.
Hormone.
Yes, it's a stress
hormone. Helps you to add weight.
Exactly.
Okay, are there foods that are like estrogen promoting, estrogen mimicking, that men should just be like, whoa?
Soy, tofu, those you really need to be mindful of. And I always tell folks, please do your own research so that you understand. But in terms of soy, it's one of those that tends to it mimics estrogen in the body. Okay. And so you'll notice, have you ever heard of a term like man boobs?
Yes.
Yeah, that can happen as a result of too much estrogen in the body. So you need to be careful about the amount of estrogen and soy that's coming in.
Okay, and before you finish, I want our last one hard-hitting fact about men and nutrition for a healthy, fit, performing body. I think you know what I mean.
Okay, performing body.
Yes, I want one last hard-hitting fact, because we have to go to break. Yes, and we have to work out.
Yeah, but by all means, right. So the key is you want to make sure, number one, your meals are balanced. What does balance look like? You got to eat a lot of vegetables. You got to make sure you're eating your fruits. Get your lean proteins in there and get your fats. That's number one. Then if you're looking for some source of energy, it's really important for you to rest your body. It's important for you to move your body, exercise. In terms of drinking, it's important to get your water in. Our bodies are primarily made up of water. So drink a lot of water. Then if you're looking for some extra, that's going to help enhance your energy. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Right. But you could also add things like Brazil nuts. You could add things like pumpkin seeds. You could add things like seafoods. Those are going to help amp up your energy. But remember, you've got to first make sure that that environment is clean. So we're removing all that other bad stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Yani, I've learned so much in such a short amount of time. Thank you so much, Roseanne Kamau. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to The Loop, a bold and fresh look at our lives here in Kenya. And we've been talking about, nutrition, we've been talking about diet, we've been talking about the things that you could do to live an active and healthier lifestyle wherever it is that you are, especially if you're a man. Now, we've all been quarantined during this period. You've been at home, you're packing on the weight, like you can see me now, this is the protective layer of my six-pack, which is underneath. But it's going to go. And I have pledged to live an active, healthier lifestyle. And you know what? We decided, let's get people who are real experts around what you can do, even in the home, to make sure that at least you're a bit more active, you shed off that weight, and you're a bit healthier. With me here in studio are the directors of Smart Gyms. You may have seen them all over the place. They're at the Junction, they're at Embakasi, they're at Diamond Plaza, they're at the Hub, and they were so grateful to come and join us here. Very gracious. Thank you so much for coming. This is Duncan Wanjohi and Vinita Otieno. Now, if you follow them on Instagram, you will see these guys are a couple that work out without any jokes. All right? Now that gyms are closed, and people at home, some people are saying, you know what, I used to go to a gym, but now gyms are closed. What are some of the things, Duncan and Vinita, that people can do at home to stay healthy?
Well, gyms have been closed for a long time.
Yeah.
In our case, we closed at the end of March.
Yeah.
And luckily, we were lucky enough to open 2 of our units 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now, in the meantime, people had to be active. And I think it was very impressive because it hit the road in the morning. And guys have jarred the road. People are doing push-ups on the side. People are running. So it looks like maybe because people didn't have work, that whole story of I don't have time to work out wasn't such an issue.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or maybe they also wanted to keep fit.
Yeah.
Because, with a lot of sitting, leads to a lot of overeating, which leads to a lot of sluggishness.
That's right.
And you can imagine, like, we have 3 children, and most people, your kids are at home, you're just sitting, you're immobile. So a good way of kind of rejuvenating yourself is to keep fit. You exercise. So people have been doing the roads. You asked about exercises people can do at home. There's plenty. Aside from walking from your chair to the fridge, there's a lot you could do in between. There are push-ups, there are squats, and you guys will get to demonstrate a few.
Oh, fantastic. I like that. Okay, so wherever you are right now, clear some space. Vinita and Duncan are going to show us some of the easy exercises. Nothing really difficult. These ones are just props. Me, see, you need to come here. So these are just props. But they're going to show us some easy exercises that you can do, whether you have weights or not. And they don't take too long. You can do something for 15 minutes. I think as long as you increase your heart rate, you sweat, and you increase your breathing rate, then you're on a good path. Okay, so without further ado, give me one simple exercise that myself and the people watching at home can do and not collapse before tomorrow?
Well, I think Vinita is going to take us through that.
Yeah, I'll give you
expert.
I was hoping you would not say Vinita. If you see her on Instagram.
So I hope you're ready. And, you know, as much as COVID is taking out men, hopefully we'll make it through this workout, right?
You will make it through, prophesy. You will make it through this
I think
time.
the key things to do, push, pull, squat.
Okay.
And I guess we're going to work
I don't think you want me to squat because things
Mike,
might happen.
you're going to squat.
Things might happen that are not supposed to be seen on TV.
Right.
I might have a reaction that is not very TV friendly. So what are we starting with?
Okay. So 3 quick exercises to do if you're at home and you've been dying to get moving, or maybe you've been procrastinating. Yeah, I'd suggest you have to do an exercise that stimulates your legs, upper body, and gets your heart rate going.
Okay.
So you're going to squat, Mike. Very simple. Again, respect your knees.
Okay.
Squat to where you're comfortable.
Okay.
So arms up, arms up, arms up. Okay, so let's go. So you squat down, 1, nice and easy. Push up your hips. Squat down 2. We'll do it 3 times.
There we go.
Come up. I want you guys to break a sweat.
This is the air squat.
Squat down, 3. So that's 1. Second one is the pushing movement.
Right.
I think you're familiar with push-ups. If you're not, I'll demonstrate a modified.
Okay.
Which of you will demonstrate the advanced? Both of you.
I think Duncan will demonstrate the advanced because...
Okay, so Duncan will do advanced.
First we sanitize. Right?
Let's sanitize first. Guys, it's important to have a clean work surface, clean work environment. So remember,
definitely
have your sanitizer everywhere.
And it's important to stay hydrated as well.
If you're working out with people, make sure you keep your social distance as well.
Yes.
Okay,
good.
So for me, I'm demonstrating the modified. As you note, I'm kneeling. My chest is up. I'll drop down, nice and easy, and I'll come up. Go at your own pace. I go down. Duncan.
All right, let's go.
Thank you. Let's.
Anytime now, you can do the advanced one.
Let's go. Let's go. So we go 1 and up, 2 and up, 3 and up. And as COVID has taught us, we're all aware about our health and wellness. If you have shortness of breath, if you feel uncomfortable, catch a break. No pressure, start with where you are.
Okay.
Third one will be stomach exercises, core. A lot of people have, as you mentioned earlier, developed a lot of surrounding, padding as you call it. I was trying to think of how to say it. So again, I'll show you a very simple ab movement. If you're comfortable and familiar, try and keep your feet down. Again, I'm doing the modified so my feet can go up. Hands to here, and you crunch. 1, go down, and you crunch. Mike, you should be demonstrating. Maybe I'll just get up for you.
Okay.
So you can.
Yeah. All right. You know. Good. Okay. Remember.
You can sanitize.
We sanitize. Keep everything kosher.
Yes.
All right. If you never see me again, this is why.
It's because you look so different, not recognizable.
I know.
Or if you see you looking fit and stronger.
All right. So what are we doing?
You're doing an ab crunch.
Okay.
So remember, your knees are bent. Good. Your hands are up here. You can place them on your shoulders. Lean back slightly. And then you come up. Use your core.
Okay.
Bring yourself up.
Okay.
1. And look at you. Said you're a beginner. Should move it to advanced.
Are you taking notes?
3. So listen, health is wealth. I know we're going through a tough time with Corona, but it's essential and it's important to focus on your fitness.
I feel the abs coming already.
I already see them. Big improvement.
Okay. What else can we do?
So besides just physical, I mean, exercise is good for the mental.
Yeah.
If you're having a bad day, try doing some push-ups. You'll actually feel that it, you know, rejuvenates you in some way.
Yeah.
And it's a big part of staying healthy. So it's not just the physical bit of it.
Yeah.
The aesthetics,
There's the aesthetics and there's the mental part of it.
Yeah.
Clarity from all that oxygen circulating. Okay, so
how important is the gear that you wear? Because believe it or not, and I swear, I've seen people running with formal shoes.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, you're the guy hitting the pavement, and you're like, that guy's knees by the time he gets to 40 will be gone completely. So how important is the gear that you wear to exercise?
Well, it's important, but again, you could say start with what you have. You see, we have a lot of runners.
Yeah.
We start off running and they don't have any shoes. But it's very important if you know that you have any knee injury, lower back pains, etc. Once you begin exercising, the first thing that should go off on your head is, what am I wearing? What shoes am I wearing? 2, if you get uncomfortable and you feel, some people experience as they're running, they say, you know, I feel like I have tightness of chest. I always tell them, wear something that's comfortable. Don't look and see somebody else running, Mike, like you're driving and you see somebody's running and you decide they're going to buy that outfit. Take time, pick what's comfortable for you. So shoes, attire, and as Duncan has mentioned, hydrating is key.
What about food? Because you know how men are. We're like, yeah, Kama kuna nyama kwa sahani, basi I'm set. You know, I can't eat that rabbit food.
Yeah.
So my plate always has to have meat.
Well, for me, I always say it's a lifestyle. So I tell people I work better with portion control.
Okay.
And everyone's budget is different. So the key is you have a protein, you have a carbohydrate, and you have a vegetable. Dengu, beans, you like nyama, have a bit of beef. Don't be excessive. Overindulgence, of course, you know, is a sin. And that's what a lot of people think. When you exercise, you feel hungry.
Okay.
When you feel hungry, it's a cycle. You go immediately and you eat everything that's in the fridge. The next morning you wake up, you feel bad, again you run. No. Your food should fuel you and leave you feeling better.
There's some people who I see working out every single day. Like, you know, those guys who are the gym rats. You know, every day, 5 a.m., 4 a.m. utampata hapo. You leave the gym, you leave him there. You come back, the guy is still there, working out 10 sessions in a day. Is that healthy?
Well, look, you know, the person who's working out 10 sessions in a day, it might be competing. I mean, there might be a good reason for
that guy was not competing. maybe for chicks. He was not competing for anything.
As long as you're getting your workout in. So doctors suggest, right, this is just entry level. 30 minutes of workout a day. It could be 30 minutes of walking. That's entry level. Look, do something. Yeah? Start where you are. Don't worry about the fashion things. My shoes don't look good, so I can't go to the gym. No. Start where you are. If you're not living a healthy lifestyle, that's no reason not to work out. In fact, I'd say those guys who maybe go out and drink, maybe even smokers, work out, do something, 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be intense. But these are the things that help you get through this period. I mean, we're going through a tough time. It's COVID right now. We know that it's hard on men generally, but we also know that people who have, who are fitter are more likely to get through this.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's important to just do it. Start where you are. Don't wait for the time. There's no right time, the right clothes.
The way you started,
right look. Some people want to lose weight before they can go to the gym because they feel like a bit of shame.
That's true.
At Smart Gyms, we say everybody is welcome. And the whole point is to give Kenyans more access to ways to get fit. Now, you can get fit very well at the gym. It's purpose-built. But look, we're closed for a few months. We've been open 2 weeks. In the meantime, people are also finding other things to do. So it doesn't have to be the gym. We'd love you to come to the gym. Work out where you are.
Okay.
But bigger than that, we want you to stay fit.
So you wake up in the morning, do your 20 push-ups, do your 20 crunches, things that can take you maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and get on with the day. It just becomes part of the routine.
And then you're good to go. So there you go. Thank you so much, Duncan, Wanjohi, Vinita Otieno. Of course, you can catch them at Smart Gyms. Remember, Smart Gyms are at the Junction. They're at the Hub, at Embakasi, and Diamond Plaza 2. Thank you so much, guys.
All right,
where is Valentine? Valentine should have been here.
We'll give you both a membership.
There you are.
We'll give you a 1-month membership. We look forward to having you.
I can't exercise in my high heels.
Do I look like I've gotten some abs?
It's not that quick. As Roseanne, the nutritionist, told us, it's a process to get a certain way. So it's a process to also get a six-pack. Michael?
All right. Thank you so much. Of course, remember, this has been The Loop, but don't go too far. We'll be back with Unplugged. My name is Mike Washira.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having us in your living room this evening discussing men's health. Guys, I hope you feel better and at least supported in this journey towards health. We will see you next Friday. Mwah.
me just how much you love me. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Just want you to show me just how much you love me. I know what I wanna do. You know what I wanna do. You know I've been coming through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you. I can see you, just wanna be seen, yeah. 'Cause baby, have you seen me? Baby, have you seen me? Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Just want you to show me just how much you love me. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Just want you to show me just how much you love me. You ain't gonna waste my time, yeah. Baby, I don't wanna fight, yeah. Did me wrong and then you lied, yeah. I tried, yeah. Now I don't wanna. 'Cause when I waited, you broke my heart when I waited. So I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna waste my time, I won't beg. I don't wanna draw the line, you instead. I don't wanna waste my time, I won't beg you. When I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna leave my name in a page of your book on love, we failed every day. I don't wanna make excuses, this is steady, yeah. It's steady, yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Just want you to show me just how much you love me. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Just want you to show me just how much you love me. Just how much you love me.
And welcome back. This is Unplugged. This is a platform where we celebrate creatives, give them an opportunity to come and show us their skills. We've got so much talent in this country. And with us here tonight on Unplugged is none other than Xenia Manasseh. I think you heard that voice. You must have thought she was just lip-syncing or pretending to sing, but let me tell you, this is an amazing, amazing artist. Xenia, welcome to Unplugged.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That song, gives me goosebumps. Yeah.
Okay.
For real, for real, for real. Okay, so welcome to Unplugged. I think you had the conversation that we're having earlier on the Loop around, you know, how men don't take their health seriously. How are you staying fit during quarantine? Like, what are you doing, Xenia? Have you seen how she looks? Like,
am I staying fit?
You look like you work out 20 times a day.
No, no. I mean, the most I do is dance.
Okay.
But that even, like, I was doing it a lot at the beginning of COVID quarantine, and then that even slowed down. So what I've been doing more of is writing. So it's here and there.
Of course, and we're here to talk about your EP.
Yes.
And, you know, some of the amazing work that you've been doing. But let's first get to know who Xenia Manasseh is. You're a singer, songwriter, producer. Is there anything that you have not done? Because, like, you are all over the place.
Well, I'm not a producer.
Yeah.
But I want to be.
Well, I mean, that's how you start.
That is
like,
how you start.
Something about, you know, like...
That is how you start.
But, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, because, like, I guess a producer is somebody who does the arrangement of music, right? So you're the one who tell, like, Andrew over there, like, you know, play E flat, and somebody else play something.
Yeah, so I haven't had any of those sessions in a long time, especially because the main producer that I work with, he doesn't live here. So what I've been doing mostly since I'm back is like listening to beats. Other than that, sometimes I stay on the phone with him like all night and we'll make a beat together from scratch. But what I did start tapping into was engineering, like learning how to mix my vocals.
Sound engineering.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one, yeah.
Okay. And your musical journey is really interesting because you started playing keyboard as young as when you were in kindergarten. So tell us about that. Like, was that just an instrument you were naturally drawn to? Was it the only one in the house? Like, how did that come about?
Actually, there is a piano in the house, and I believe, I mean, my mom plays, her dad plays, my mom's sister plays. They all did the ABRSM exams. So I don't know who put me in the piano classes, but I remember playing that early.
And today you still play?
I can still play
piano.
Yeah.
All right. Who were some of your influences growing up? Because me, I remember, like, when I was growing up, and let me not say, you'll know how old I am, so what I'm saying. Like, who were some of your influences growing up?
Lauren Hill, Erica Badu, like Neo Soul people, India Arie, Jill Scott. Those are all the people, like, and then now it's just like, I feel like Brandy, let me not leave out Brandy.
Okay, you know, now we are starting to calculate the age, so we're going towards Brandy and those ones.
But that's not too far away. I mean, I feel like...
And Brandy, she's still singing, isn't she?
Yeah, she just put out an album last week.
She's singing, yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Do you find that people try to box your sound? Like, you know, in Kenya, because it's not a very common sound for Kenya. Because Kenya is usually party songs, party anthems, it's gengeton, it's this, that, the other. You know, it's the usual mainstream, popular culture artist, right? So, what's your style? Do you have a name for it? You better have a name for it, and it better be Kenyan, tafadhali, please.
Sasa hapo ndo umeniwekea pressure when you said it has to be Kenyan. I was just gonna say R&B / neo soul because I mean those are my main influences.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very natural for people to describe your sound in the way that they know, you know, until you come and say that it's something different. So I don't like feel bad or feel like I'm being boxed in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here's something interesting that I found out about you, is that you were also an all-round athlete. So you played basketball when you were in school. Okay, what other sport did you play?
Football. Those were like the main two.
Now, why are you naming all the things I didn't play? Me, I think...
What did you play?
Huh?
You didn't play?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I mean, I was an exceptional cheerleader. Like I was on the sidelines. Like, in fact, I should have been the one with the music career.
Everybody has a role. Everybody has a role.
So I mean, I was there. Like I wasn't as sporty, but you know, there are other people who took that up for me. And so you played basketball. You played football. Were you a prefect?
No,
head girl.
I was a house captain.
Both. What school was this?
Primary and primary. I went to Mso.
Okay.
Msongari, and then high school is when I started really playing like both of them, which was Aga Khan Academy, Mombasa.
Okay. Now you see when you see Zinia here, Zinia is like me. I swear, like an overachiever. Okay. First of all, she's mentioned everything that me I was not good at, but also she was Miss Msongari.
Oh,
yes. She was Miss Msongari. You must know people. I have contacts. I have
wow,
people. So this was what, you in class 7?
I think I was in class 7. Yeah, it was class 7.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, I mean, so did you, well, no, I mean, do you put that in your CV? Like,
I don't.
Skills and qualifications, I was Miss Msongari.
No, and I still have the band actually, but that one I'm just like, wow, what a time. What a time. Unexpected.
Okay, so Miss Msongari, so, I mean, so from there, like, you just skyrocketed.
No, it was like Miss Msongari and then like back to normal life and then uni and then after uni and then like, okay, now we're like...
Yeah. Okay, so because you are formally trained in music, right? And you went to Berkeley. And so what informed your decision not to, you know, be trained locally, you know?
I was just
go and intern with Kamaru, like, you know, like, I mean, like, you know, apprenticeship.
No, I was just taking a risk, honestly, because I spent the whole of high school, you know, working towards doing law, and I was trying to fit the music in by doing entertainment law. But then when it was time to apply to uni, I just applied to 2 music schools, and I got into both of them, and I was like, okay.
There you go again. You, how many schools did you apply to and they didn't even get back to you?
But I only applied to 2. That's risky.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, Berkeley is like, you know, when you talk about music schools, like it's really way up there. It's like, you know, the heaven when it comes to music.
Yeah,
How long were you there for?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you got there, was there like culture shock, you know, coming from like a Kenyan education system to...
I just was so amazed that I was around people that like did music every day, all the time. So I was just like, oh my God, I fit in. It's like, I'm not crazy. People do it too.
And you know, this is the thing, like, you know, because here in Kenya, I remember wanting to be a musician, but I couldn't sing except in the shower. That wasn't really good enough for my career to take off. But that's another story for another day. If you told, like, typical parents, you tell them, like, I want to be a musician. And the first thing most parents comes to your mind is like, you want to go and sing for people in the bar. You know, and you know, music is not something that, you know, a parent can be proud of in church and say, okay, let me call my son the pilot. Let me call my daughter the engineer.
Yeah.
Let me call my other daughter the musician.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, musician.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you think that people take the entertainment industry, and especially the music industry, seriously? You know, give it the seriousness that it deserves, even now.
I still feel like it's something that for a lot of parents, they have to see you succeed at it. Just even entertainment in general, like you have to show them that, you know, this was not a waste of their, you know, support or their, because, yeah, you need the proof.
Okay.
But I think, you know, the more, like, I feel like for me, because this music thing is working out, like it's easier for like my siblings or my cousins to now say that they also want to do the same thing, because at least there's proof that, okay, this has worked. They just try to be protective and they want us to do what they've seen that worked. So
okay, and you're the eldest. Okay, so you're setting like the bar really, really high for everybody. I would hate for you to be my older sister. Well, no, pressure now. All right, so, you know, we're here to celebrate the work that you're doing and your EP. What's the name of the EP?
Fallen Apart.
Okay, Fallen Apart. And the first song you performed was?
See Me.
Okay. Now, what else are you going to perform for us from?
From the EP?
Yeah.
Actually, nothing else from the EP.
Okay.
Yeah, we just picked two other originals of mine and a cover.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, I mean, you know.
Feel free.
Yes. Please. Remember, you can get Xenia Manasseh's EP Fallen Apart, and it's available on all platforms, all digital platforms, so you can get that there. And she's going to perform for us a song. Let me tell you. Now, sikiza kwa makini. This is sauti ya kutoa nyoka pangoni. This is where you get it. All right. So what's the name of the song you're performing for us?
Niambie.
Niambie. Acha nikwambie. You want to pay attention to this.
Niamini, ninataka uwe wangu milele, kabla upate nishakuwa na mwingine. Niambie, niambie ni mimi, niambie, niambie ni mimi. Sitaki kujua mwingine, sitaki kujua mwingine, we sitaki kujua mwingine, sitaki kujua mwingine, we niambie, niambie, niambie ni mimi, ni mimi, contemplating my decision on a mission for more. It's such a challenge, got tightrope balance, but it's worth fighting for. Niambie, niambie ni mimi, niambie, niambie ni mimi. Sitaki kujua mwingine, sitaki kujua mwingine we. Oh, sitaki kujua mwingine we. Niambie, niambie, niambie. another one?
Amazing, 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 amazing. All right, so this is Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes, Andrew the guitarist. Okay, so how do you tell us about yourself? Like, how long have you been playing guitar? Yeah.
Okay, I've been playing guitar for about 5-6 years. It's been on and off. So I started really early, like in class 2, class 4. Then I stopped, switched to piano.
Wait, is that in class 2?
Oh, class 4, something like that.
What's wrong with you? You guys are making me look bad, Bana.
No, but I took a break. So funny story, my guitar teacher at the time, he was single. Then he got married, and then
He disappeared.
So I stopped. I moved to piano briefly, then moved back to guitar.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Xenia, you went to Berkeley, right? Spent a couple of years there, and then got into the Atlanta music scene. So was this before you finished at Berkeley or after you finished Berkeley?
So it started before, because what Berkeley does during the spring break, they have industry trips.
Yeah.
So some people, you apply and then you get picked. They usually take like 20 to 30 people.
Yeah.
So one trip is to LA, one trip is to New York, one trip is to Nashville, one trip is to Atlanta. And I wanted to go to the ATL one because when I went there, it reminded me of home because it was warm. And I got picked to go on the trip, and I started there. And then after graduation, I moved.
Okay. All right. So, we're still talking about your EP. Fantastic. And I think we have another video that we want to see from your EP. All right. Do we have it? Okay, good. Let's play that. Of course, this is from Fallen Apart. Okay. Xenia Manasseh. Remember, this EP is available for you at all the digital. Make sure you watch this. Let us know what you think about it as well.
Get you doses, but I stay overdosing, overdosing on your loving. Borderline comatose, you could be poison, and I'll still drink your potion. The energy, emotions, set it all in motion, emotion. Can all that I want be all it can be? If all that I want is you, don't make me give you a reason. Can all that I want be all it can be? If all that I want is you, don't make me give you a reason. To wonder, Stevie Wonder.
Okay, I told you. There you go. Zinnia Manasseh, the song is Potion, and it is on the EP Falling Apart. Zinnia, is that the first time that you've seen your song on TV?
Yo, that's so crazy.
I know, right? Look, I told you, we are celebrating Zinnia Manasseh here, and this is Unplugged. It's a platform for all creatives where we give creatives an opportunity to showcase their talents and their skills and some of the amazing, amazing potential that we have here in the 254. All right, let's see if we have any feedback for Zinnia Manasseh. And of course, the album, or rather the EP, is Falling Apart. I hope parents are watching this. Zinnia Manasseh went to Berklee School of Music and it's paying off. She's worked with Tiana Taylor, Sauti Sol, and her career is taking off at just 23 years of age. Look at that. I hope parents are really paying attention to this. And of course, this is somebody else called Ichimuntu saying, I have said time and time again, Zinnia is a breath of fresh air to the Kenyan airwaves. Her music is international. It's not ati Kenyan where all gospel sounds the same. Sijui kina what. You know, a lot of love there for you, Zinnia.
Yes.
And of course, remember, continue using hashtag the Loop K24, and you can talk to Zinnia. You can ask Zinnia anything that you want to know about her music and her music career and her journey up to where she is right now. 23 years of age, and she's achieved so much. Now, Zinnia, you are signed to Upper Class Music Group, and you are a writer.
Yes, I am.
Yeah? Okay, so tell us about that, because whenever you hear that people are signed on to like a major label, I know some artists here in the 254 who've been signed to major labels and the relationship hasn't really gone very well. Is it different for you? Do you feel at home? Do you feel supported? Or is it something that you're like, Sasa, why did I sign that? Like, why
Oh
did I sign
my
that
God,
contract?
no, these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Upper Class Music Group is in Atlanta.
Yeah, they're based in Atlanta, and the way it even happened, like, I just kept being shown that music is what I'm supposed to do. I ended up just working with these guys because I randomly decided to go to LA, and I met somebody that ended up connecting me with them, and they've always like had my best interest at heart. And I mean, it just feels like a family. Like, I haven't seen them in so long, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go back.
Okay, this is what I love about you, Zinnia. You're so down to earth, and your achievements are like on top of KICC. Because you have worked with Tiana Taylor. You co-wrote, was it 2 songs on her album? Her album went to #1 on Billboard. Crazy. You are credited on her album. Yeah, like, you are, you know, Mambo Beard like that. You Mambo Beard like that, you know. So how did the whole thing with Tiana Taylor come around? You guys just bump into each other? You know?
No, I still haven't even met her.
Really? So how did that
So I came back to Nairobi in December 2018, but then I had been working with UCMG for about 6 months. So what I would do, we would just go to the studio every week, and then it turned into every day. So you just write, you write, you write. And their job is now to send it out to the different labels, or if they have personal connections with artists that they know are looking for music, you know, they're like, this is what we have in our catalog from the people that we have working with us. So I knew about one song at the beginning of last year, and then they told me about the second one like maybe 2 months before the album came out, but it wasn't real for me until I saw like the track list and I saw the songs there, and I was like, oh, word, okay. Yeah.
And so how did you know about this? Like, did they call you and tell you, okay, fine, she's picked your song and she's going with it? And then haukufura kichwa? Mimi naitela I'd be walking around Nairobi like, unanijua? Nimeandika muziki? Umenunua hiyo album? Hebu check my name. Hey, wangenijua.
No, you know, by the time the first one happens, there's so many others that you thought were going to happen before that didn't. Yeah. So for me, it was like, let me wait until I know for sure. You know, it was just a maybe until it wasn't, which was a week of. And then I was like, oh,
and so that was one song. And then they told you another one.
Yeah.
And you were like,
and
wow.
And then the week of, then I saw that the 2 of them were there. And they were even back to back on the album. And I was like, yeah.
And you know, what you're talking about is a testament to networking and relationship building. You know, there are a lot of artists who think that just because you have one song out or one hit song, and you know, that's enough to push your career forever. You know, talk to anyone listening, you know, like aspiring artists, the importance about networking and relationship building.
Man, that is the most important thing. That's like the first thing I remember hearing, and that sat in my head when I went to Berkeley, they were like, the most important thing that you should get out of being here is a solid network, because people go all over. Like, people that were in my classes, like, you know, they're working for Beyonce and Normani, and everybody's just like one person away, you know. It makes the world so much smaller. It makes your dreams it makes you feel like your dreams are a lot more valid, because it just feels so much more achievable. Yeah. Networking is key. It's the most essential, honestly. I think in entertainment, at least.
What for you really moves your soul? Is it the writing? Is it the singing? Is it the performing?
It's the music. It's just, there's nothing else that makes me feel.
Because you're such an amazing writer, you know, and you know, you've come from working at international stage. You came, Sauti Sol had Midnight Train, and then Rumba Japan, and I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. So how did that come about, the collaboration with Sauti Sol on Midnight Train?
We actually started doing backgrounds with my friend Lisa in about October last year. And then, yeah, so we did backgrounds on a few of the songs on the album. And then, like, early this year, they were just like, by the way, we want you to do another song. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, just backgrounds. And they were like, no, actually, we want you to do a verse. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's cool. And so I just went to Savara's house and he explained the song and like, yeah, what they were talking about in the song and just the vibe. And then we just co-wrote my verse together. And
is that like an intimidating environment to be in? Because, you know, okay, I mean, you've written for international artists and everything, right? But still, now you're back in the 254, you're with Sauti Sol, who are like larger than life. And, you know, all of them are like super talented in their own right. You know, was there a time you felt like a bit unsure?
I felt like that at the beginning when I came back, because that's also the first time now I really got to meet them. I met them before when I was younger and I wasn't doing like any of this stuff. So when I first met them, I was just like, wow. Because I was in a room with them and Bien was just there standing. He was standing, he was walking around the room writing a verse on the spot. And I was like, what? What is this? But then I was like, I can learn so much from being around these people, and that's what it turns into, and then the fear goes away. And also because they trust my opinion, that also helps.
Does that give like a confidence boost when you hear people saying, that's it?
Yeah, because we know we all have our doubts about ourselves, so it's always nice to have that reassurance.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, remember, if you've got anything that you want to talk to Xenia Manasseh about, any questions that you want to ask her, you can tell us using hashtag the Loop K24. And of course, this is an Unplugged, where we give artists an opportunity to be able to showcase their talent, to be able to come here, right here, K24 here. And, you know, whether you're a singer, whether you're a painter, whether you know, whatever kind of art and creative work that you do, this is the place for you. Xenia, very quickly, where can people get your EP?
It's available everywhere. Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Deezer, Audio Mac. It's everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you want to perform for us?
Yes, we can. You pick. Do you want a cover or you want an original?
No, I want an original.
Original. Actually, original. Even I made up my mind. Yeah. So this last song is called Watu Wangu. It's my thank you song that I wrote in December because I was feeling super grateful for all my blessings, and it's just to say thank you to everybody that supports me.
Okay. So there you go. We've had Xenia Manasseh here on Unplugged. Of course, remember you can catch us every Friday here on K24 on The Loop and Unplugged, and continue talking to us using the hashtag The Loop at K24, The Loop K24 on all our social media pages. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. She's going to perform for us one last original tune. Listen to this and then go get that EP. We'll catch you again right here on The Loop next Friday, K24.
See, things like this don't happen for everybody. We gotta pick it up a bit. And I can't count how many times I thought that you would leave me lonely. but you'll stay by my side. My real ride or dies, light up my life. I promise sijawai skia hivi. I had to take the time to tell y'all just how much I appreciate y'all. Take the time to really celebrate y'all. Don't need a special occasion. No, I don't need a special occasion. Just to tell y'all just how much I love y'all, and to tell y'all that I'll really always be about you. Let this be a reminder for you, to know that I'll always come through for you. Wanna be in the air for the people that hold you down, and wanna be in the air for the people holding up your crown. Nyinyi watu wangu wase, nyinyi watu wangu mazee, sitawahi kuacha msijale, sitawahi kuacha msijale. Ah.